Welcome to this BEC Podcast. My name is Rasmus Bæk, and today I am happy to welcome the CEO of Badminton Denmark and also the host of Thomas Huber Cup 2020, Bo Jensen. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Bo, 2020 is going to be a fantastic year for European badminton, of course also for badminton, but from where I see it, from the European perspective, Thomas Huber Cup is coming to Europe, to Denmark. The first thought around it, how do you feel about it?
Well, first of all, we are very excited about the possibility to host this event in not only Denmark but in Europe. Thomas Huber Cup is, from a federation perspective, something that is extremely important. It's the major event, so to say, for a national federation. And actually, it's the first time ever that we are hosting the actual Thomas Huber Cup concept outside Asia, in Europe. So of course we are very excited about this.
What does it mean to you guys that it's not Badminton in England, German Badminton Federation, Badminton France, but it's Denmark taking this one?
I haven't really thought about that perspective, but from a national perspective, the Danish men's team won the Thomas Cup back in 2016, which was a tremendous success for us. It was the first time ever a European team won the Thomas Cup, and since then we have been seeking the possibility to host the event in Denmark, because we still feel that we, with the actual Danish men's players, we really do have a shot for the title, and if we could bring back the title to Denmark, even on home soil, that would be tremendously.
Having a shot on going for the title, was that a key factor for you to actually apply for hosting the Thomas Huber Cup? Or wasn't it that isn't it important, or how do you actually see it?
Actually, the idea came up from another angle, so to say. 2 years ago, we had an internal meeting where we discussed the future strategy for Badminton Denmark in regard of attracting major events to Denmark, and we made a strategic plan which we presented to the BWF, where we proposed that instead of having a rather short-term apply process, where you apply for a major event maybe 1 or 2 years ahead, we said to BWF, why not have a more long-term goal? Let's make, say, a 5-year period, and then we apply for those events which each nation might find interesting in that period of time. And BWF actually thought that was a very good idea to work on a more long-term basis with the bidding process for these major events. And the main goal for us was not Thomas Huber Cup. Of course, it's a huge event and we are very excited about it, but the main goal for us was the World Championship in 2022 or 2023. So we made a package and applied to BWF and said, if we can host Thomas Huber Cup in 2020, which also is our 19th year's anniversary for Badminton Denmark, then we could have the World Championship in 2022 or 2023. And then we will have another major event maybe in 2025 or 2026. And then again a World Championship in 2030 when we have a 100-year anniversary. Yeah. So that's the strategic plan we sort of put together and presented to BWF. So you can say Thomas Huber Cup is first stage in this rocket, aiming for 2030.
But you also got the World Championships as you aim for, which is going to take place in Copenhagen, as far as I know.
That's right. It's going to be in Copenhagen. Yes.
Thomas Huber Cup is not going to take place in Copenhagen.
No.
It's going to take part in the western part of Denmark. It's actually the second biggest city of Denmark.
That's
but
right.
it's quite far from Copenhagen. This is recorded in Odense, which is 1-2 hours from Copenhagen. What were the thoughts about not hosting the Thomas Huber Cup in Copenhagen, which has good connections on flight possibilities, because Aarhus is actually not that easy to reach with flights?
The challenge for us next year is that Denmark is part of hosting the European Championship in soccer. And this takes place almost at the same time. And Copenhagen is hosting, I think it's 4 matches. So that made it more or less impossible for us to squeeze in a huge event like Thomas Huber Cup. In order to host such an event on Danish soil, we need some government backup. We also need some local backup from the local municipal. And it was simply too much for the city of Copenhagen to have such huge events at the same time. So that's why we aimed for another place, another local city to host the event, and we then made an agreement with the municipal of Aarhus.
The players, I'm sure they will get to Aarhus no matter what.
Of course.
The Danish badminton fans will also go to Aarhus for sure. But will you assure it won't be too hard, for instance, for English fans, German fans to reach Aarhus?
We have 2 international airports very close to Aarhus. And we will, for all players, officials, international guests related to the event, we will have shuttle transportation from one of these international airports placed nearby Aarhus. So I don't see that as a challenge at all. I mean, when we travel, for instance, to China Open in September, it's placed in Changzhou. It's not that easy from a European country or airport to get access to Changzhou. So I mean, we're used to travel from international airports to the city where the event is taking place. So and if you look at this city here in Odense, each year we have roughly about 30% coming from foreign countries.
So nothing to be worried about, I hear.
No, I don't think so.
Don't think so. That's good to hear, Bo. If we take the fan perspective, I know the city of Aarhus. I'm very sure that not many of our followers actually know the city of Aarhus. What can they expect from the venue point of view, from the city point of view, accommodation point of view? What are they actually getting if they choose to travel to Aarhus?
Well, first of all, Aarhus is a very beautiful city. It's placed close to the sea. It has a very inspiring harbor environment. The city of Aarhus offers a lot of cozy restaurants, bars, places to hang out during matches or in between matches. Another interesting perspective is that all the hotels we have booked for this event is within walking distance from the venue, which means that we don't have to spend hours in buses or other forms of public transportation. You can actually walk from the hotel to the venue and from the venue to the center of the city. And usually the weather in May in Denmark is quite nice. So I'm quite sure that all the foreign fans, guests, spectators will have a very good experience when they visit Aarhus.
I remember Denmark hosted the World Championships in badminton in Copenhagen recently.
2014.
In 2014, it's 5 years ago. For me, it's still recently. I saw a setup I haven't seen many places before. It was a high-end event, also with a new VIP experience. Also, is that also something that we should expect to see at the Thomas Cup?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Last week we finalized all the all the missing agreements with all partners, which means that we now have all agreements in place. And one of the agreements is with one of the local high-end gourmet restaurants in Aarhus. We are actually building a restaurant inside the venue, and here we are able to offer exclusive gourmet dinner during the play, which means that you can actually sit very close to courtside and enjoy a very exclusive dinner and wine experience together with world-class badminton.
If that's something I want to buy for me and my friends, what's the price then?
We haven't finalized all the prices, but you should expect that a table for 6 persons will probably cost at the beginning of the event to €2,500 or maybe a little more.
Food and drinks included?
All included.
All included.
Access to VIP lounge. Yeah.
So it's going to be a great night if you choose that package, I assume?
Absolutely, yes.
But Bo, it's also about the money. It can cost a lot of money to host an event. You also have a chance to earn a lot of money hosting an event. Are Badminton Denmark losing or earning money of this?
Hopefully, we are not losing any money on this event. We have a budget which is expected to break even. Of course, there are a lot of factors we have to estimate based on our best experience or knowledge. But one of the things that's always some uncertainty about is, for instance, how many spectators are coming to the event. The venue has today about 5,000 seats, but we have to take out some seats to sponsors, to partners, and this is exclusive restaurant or dinner and wine experience we are offering are, of course, also taking some seat out of the venue. But we expect to have each day around 4,000 tickets for sale.
When does the ticket sale start?
We have actually some pre-sale here during Denmark Open, but the official online ticket selling starts 1st of November.
Remember that, 1st of November, that's where you're going to buy your ticket.
Yeah.
Bo, my final question is actually, because I'm looking very much forward to come, because that's a big thing for European badminton, and I'm sure you will see more than 30% traveling to Odense or to Aarhus for this. But what are the 3 main reasons that a European fan should travel to Aarhus to watch the Thomas Huber Cup?
Well, it's a one-time in your life experience to come to Denmark and see team matches, World Championship for team matches or for teams. You don't get this opportunity that often in Europe. If you have to watch either the Thomas Huber Cup or the Sudirman Cup, you usually have to travel to Asia to get this experience. Now it's within a few hours travel, and we can offer you a very, very nice experience in the city of Aarhus, combined with this world-class event. Denmark is a beautiful country, and if you haven't been in Denmark before and experienced Denmark in May, the spring season of our country, you should definitely have this experience next year. So I can give you a lot of reasons for coming to Denmark next year in May, and not only visit the city but also see Thomas Huber Cup and world-class badminton. And one last reason is also we are together with the city. We are arranging a lot of pop-up badminton events in the city. BWF introduced this year this new concept for air badminton, and we are actually going to introduce air badminton to the European badminton community during Thomas Huber Cup next year. So we will have a lot of different pop-up events on beaches, in parks, on streets, just outside the venue. So why not come to Denmark next year and get experienced with this new concept for air badminton and try it yourself.
Bo, thank you very much for stopping by. We are all looking forward to the Thomas Huber Cup. Best of luck in all the planning. Looks good that you have all the partners signed up for this, so everything should be in order, and we know that Badminton Denmark can host the best events. So thank you for coming, and thank you for watching the podcast. Ticket sale in the beginning of November. Stay tuned. I think you can go to Badminton Denmark's website for sure to get some guidance in November for that. So thank you for watching the BEC Podcast.
Thank you.